Chapter 1. A Stranger Among Wolves. The wind howled over the mountains, carrying with it the distinct metallic scent of blood and something far worse, ether decay. Choi Sangcheol crouched behind the half-demolished barn, red hair pulled into a quick tie as he scanned the tree line. 2 more wolf types heading northwest, he muttered into his comm. Copy that. Sector 4 cleared. Fall back if needed. He clicked off the comms and stood. No need. His knuckles cracked. The wolves wouldn't reach the village. Not on his watch. The gate that had opened hours earlier had been minor, unstable, wild, and messy. It wasn't supposed to cause trouble, but the monsters had swarmed faster than expected. His squad had cleared most of them. He just needed to make sure none escaped. The cold dirt crunched beneath his boots as he crept toward the last blip on his radar, and that's when he heard it. A soft grunt, not a monster's snarl, but human pain. Sangcheol stiffened. He veered toward the sound, muscles tense, senses open. His Esper abilities, enhanced physical strength and heightened spatial awareness, kicked in, guiding him through the thickets. He parted a cluster of dead leaves and froze. There, crouched beside a cracked wooden fence, was a man. No, a guide. His presence was unmistakable. Guides didn't give off pheromones like Espers did, but the air changed around them. Softer. Calmer. This one smelled like strawberries? His black hair fell in soft waves around his shoulders, half tied with what looked like a piece of string. His skin was pale, his lean frame trembling. He held a shovel defensively in one hand, the other pressed tightly to his side where blood bloomed through a torn shirt. Sangcheol blinked. What the hell is a guide doing out here? Alone. Hey, are you… The man flinched and raised the shovel threateningly. Don't come closer. Sangcheol raised both hands. Okay, whoa, relax. I'm not a monster. The man's sharp eyes narrowed. His voice was quiet but firm. You're an Esper. Yeah, and you're bleeding. I'm fine. You're not. They stared at each other. Wind rustled through the dry grass. Sangcheol took a cautious step forward. The man backed away immediately, shovel still raised, but the movement cost him. He staggered and sank to one knee with a pained gasp. Sangcheol swore and darted forward, catching him before he fell completely. The moment their bodies touched, warmth and something else. Something… right. Yohan stilled, confused. His instincts didn't recoil. The usual nausea, the migraine-inducing swirl of pheromones he always felt around Espers. It wasn't there. Instead, Sangcheol's presence felt oddly soothing, the subtle scent of cherries filling his nose like springtime. What the hell? Sangcheol was frowning too. You didn't flinch this time. Yohan quickly pulled away. Just adrenaline. Yeah, sure. Sangcheol scooped him up bridal style, ignoring the indignant protest. You're going to the hospital. No. Yohan gripped his jacket tightly. I can't. You don't understand. Look, you're losing blood. You want to die out here because of pride or something? Yohan's lips pressed into a tight line. He couldn't go. If he entered any official zone, his identity would be flagged. And if the Esper Guide Authority found out he was an unregistered S-Rank guide, they'd lock him into the system immediately. No freedom, no peace, no countryside farm, just labs, needles, and tests. Again. Sangcheol sighed. Let's… compromise. Yohan narrowed his eyes. Compromise? I'll take you to my squad's temporary camp. No full med unit. Just some first aid. You let me stop the bleeding, and I'll pretend I didn't just find a guide hiding in a monster zone. I'm not hiding. Right. Sangcheol smirked. You just happen to live next to an unstable gate with no escort, no registration, and no backup. Yohan said nothing. Didn't think so. Sangcheol adjusted his hold. Hang on. Tight. As they ascended toward the ridge, Yohan quietly studied Sangcheol's profile. Strong jaw, broad shoulders, the kind of guy who probably annoyed everyone with his confidence. But his grip was gentle, his gaze sharp but not cruel. Why? Doesn't his pheromone make me sick? And more importantly, why does his scent feel like home? Chapter 2. The Hospital Dilemma. The makeshift camp buzzed with low chatter and flickering floodlights. Tents, military drones, and portable scanning equipment lined the perimeter. It was temporary, but well-equipped. standard for high-tier Esper. Operations. Sangcheol dropped into camp with a bleeding civilian in his arms. Medical! He barked. A young medic ran over, eyes widening. Who? Found him near the old barn. He's wounded. Light stab or claw. Wasn't deep, but still. Bleeding? On it. The medic pulled out gauze and antiseptic. I can walk. Yohan's voice was soft but steady as he pushed away Sangcheol's arm. Sangcheol raised an eyebrow. Sure you can. Yohan ignored the sarcasm and sat stiffly on a crate as the medic examined the wound. The antiseptic burned like fire. Yohan clenched his jaw. He could feel Sangcheol's eyes watching him, and that stupid cherry pheromone was lingering in the air. Warm, irritating, but not sickening. It still didn't make sense. You're lucky, the medic said. No infection. But you're not just some farmer, are you? You've got controlled breathing, solid pain tolerance. Yohan said nothing. He avoided Sangcheol's gaze. The medic shrugged. We'll need to log this injury and send it to Central. Just name, ID, and the rest. Standard. No. Both men turned to Yohan. I mean, please don't, Yohan added quickly. Just say I was a volunteer support staff. I don't want my family to find out. The medic blinked. That's against protocol. Sangcheol suddenly stepped in. I'll vouch for him. Yohan looked up, surprised. You will? Sangcheol crossed his arms. If it keeps you from running off and getting yourself killed out of stubbornness, sure. The medic hesitated, but Sangcheol's rank gave him pull. All right, but if higher-ups ask, they won't. Sangcheol shot Yohan a side glance. Right? Right. Later that evening, Sangcheol found Yohan sitting by the campfire, sipping hot tea. His black hair glinted orange in the firelight, and his profile looked almost delicate, like a painting. You're not from around here, Sangcheol said, sitting beside him. I moved to the countryside 6 months ago. By yourself? Sangcheol tilted his head. You're a guide, aren't you? Yohan stiffened. Don't worry, I won't report you. Sangcheol shrugged. But I can smell it. You're not low-level either. You're wrong. Am I? Sangcheol leaned in slightly, lips curling. Because whenever I'm near you, I feel calmer. And I don't usually feel calm. Ever. Yohan turned to meet his gaze, eyes sharp. Maybe it's just your imagination, Sangcheol chuckled. Could be. Or maybe I've got really good instincts. The silence stretched. Then Sangcheol added, Why do you hide it? Yohan's fingers tightened around his cup. Because being a guide means being chained, tested, paired up with someone I don't even know, forced to guide like it's some kind of duty. Sangcheol said nothing, letting the words settle. I don't want to be someone's tool, Yohan whispered. I just want to live. Sangcheol watched him. This man, this stranger, was strong in ways that had nothing to do with power levels. He understood now. Yohan wasn't afraid. He was tired. You don't have to be a tool, Sangcheol said eventually. But you're not invisible, especially not anymore. Yohan frowned. What do you mean? Sangcheol pointed up. 2 authority drones hovered overhead. Your presence tripped an alert. The system's already flagged you as unregistered. They'll find you, Yohan, whether you run or not. Yohan's eyes widened. How do you know my name? Sangcheol grinned. I looked at your teacup. Sure enough, his name was scrawled in marker across the ceramic. Yohan cursed under his breath. Don't worry, Sangcheol said, standing. If they're sending someone to drag you in, I'll make sure. I'm there too. Why? Because I think you're special, Sangcheol said, his tone annoyingly casual. And I'm curious. He walked away before Yohan could reply. The fire crackled. Yohan stared into the flames. He was in trouble, and he had no idea what this Choi Sangcheol really wanted, but he could already tell. That man was going to be a problem. A very warm, cherry-scented, maddening problem.